One of the coolest GeminiJets collections can be found in the Vancouver International Airport. Located post-security in the walkway from the low-cost gates to the Air Canada gates, this collection contains over 150 GeminiJets, including several examples from Westjet, Air Canada, and various international wide-bodies. This collection is such an awesome display at Vancouver International Airport, and I'm excited to highlight it all for you today. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and take a look at this collection, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, who's ready to take a look at this epic collection here at the Vancouver International Airport? First and foremost, a huge shout out goes to Brant Arnold Smith for donating over 150 of his personal aircraft here to the Vancouver International Airport. And I want to give a huge shout out to YVR for putting these on display here in the walkway between the low-cost gates and the Air Canada gates, as you can get a really good look at what all the aircraft look like. And what's even cooler about this is all these aircraft had some sort of relation to Vancouver at some time for the most part, which I just think is absolutely awesome. And today, we're going to be taking a look at all these models, as it's a really cool variety here, and overall it's great. So we got some GeminiJets, Phoenix models, and others. But first and foremost, I want to read off this plaque here about the model airplanes and kind of go into detail on that, and again give the recognition where it's due. So model airplanes from the collection of Brant Arnold Smith. The models are 1:400 scale die-cast aircraft that have flown to YVR. The collection contains many limited edition and rare aircraft models. I've been collecting model aircraft since 2002, as I love aviation. I've allowed a portion of my collection to be on display at YVR. The display is meant to celebrate aviation and many aircraft and airlines that called YVR home. YVR has lots of aviation history, and I wanted to capture the past, present, and future in the display. Brant Arnold Smith. So a huge shout out to you, sir, for making this possible, and what an awesome display we have. So I believe we have like 6 or 7 cases here, so we're going to go over each and every one of them and really get into detail and really celebrate what Vancouver aviation has been like in model form. So this is going to be great. So let's just go ahead and get started. This is the case on the north side of the walkway here, and we have quite an interesting variety of aircraft here, quite a mix for sure. So obviously there's several here, and I'll try to highlight as many as I can, but the Ironmanian 747 stands out, the Westjet Disney livery 737, plenty of the Canadian narrow bodies in there too, and we also have like America West A319, United 737, American E175, an Alaska Dash 8 special delivery for the Washington Huskies, Northwest BAE 146, Northwest DC 9, so quite a cool variety. We also even have the Seattle Seahawks 747 up there on the top right. So as you can see, it's quite a cool variety here, and I think that they did a really good job incorporating this case with nice diversity. Most of them are pretty organized, but what's cool about this first case here is that it's pretty diverse. So I think that's really sweet, and overall I think they did a really good job putting these all together. And what a collection that he had, man. He had so many rare gems. I think a CPR 737-200 that is there in the back right there too. So yeah, this is a really sweet case here to start it out, and overall I think that looks really nice. So let's just go ahead and transition to our next one, which is more U.S. carriers. You can see a variety of Alaska old livery 737s and a couple of other aircraft. There's even a new livery one on the top right. I believe this was donated in 2016, by the way, so most of these are older aircraft, so keep that in mind. But you can also find here some United 767s, got some Delta 737s, got the JetBlue 320, we got a Delta 763, we got a TED and Frontier in there, so very cool to see those too. A Navy, US Airways, Boeing 757, Southwest 737, got a mix and match United Star Alliance livery back there. There's even an American Indy 87 too, so it's safe to say there's quite a nice variety of US planes in here, and he definitely had a really cool collection of those. So many cool features about all of these, like the Alaska 737-200 was a former freighter. You can see there was 2 Delta 737-700s, probably the same release. Southwest Illinois 1's another cool one. So yeah, obviously not every single aircraft flew to Vancouver like Southwest, for instance, but obviously most of this has sentimental history, particularly the Alaskas, and you can also definitely get value there out of the Westjet 737. I think it is kind of cool how some, Canadian carriers sneak into this US case and vice versa. So there will be some really organized cases coming up, but this one is pretty organized, and I think there is definitely quite a nice variety of aircraft in here, to say the least. So cool to see all those. I think this is even the spirit of Delta 762. So this is a really good case, even the Delta 717 right there. So love the variety here, and overall that all looks really nice. Here is kind of the military cabinet that you can see. We have some unique ones like that Dash 7 down there, or Dash 8. I think that might be Canada government, but not completely sure. But you got Fat Albert in there. You got the VC-25, VC 132, and some other cool KC-135s, a USPS 727 down there, and then five C-17s, really impressive. An Antonov 124, which has definitely been to Vancouver at some point, a House Livery A340, and also a C5. So I really like the variety that's in here, and it's cool that he collected military models as well. So you can definitely see some US emphasis, but there's also quite a bit of Canadian traction here as well. So overall, really great to see all this, and this is definitely looking very nice right there, to say the least. This cabinet is really cool, of mainly wide bodies. You can see in here we have cargos like the UPS 767, FedEx Panda 777. There's some Atlas Air 747s, a 400 and -8. The FedEx A380 is somehow in here, which I don't even know how he acquired that aircraft, but a great job by him. What an obscure but neat one to have in there. We got a TNT 747, a Korean 747 passenger -8 variant, airbridge cargos in there. We have a FedEx A310, it looks like, UPS 757, FedEx 727, FedEx MD10. We have a DHL Old Livery 757, a Cargolux 747 as well. So yeah, the amount of cargo that he collected was also on display. Kind of surprising not to see any Canadian cargo carriers in there, but that's been definitely a huge highlight recently of the recent model aircraft releases. We have been seeing more of that lately, so definitely is a testament to show where the model aircraft landscape has went since this donation was made, and overall how cool it is. So that's absolutely awesome, and we definitely love to see that. And we also have this very organized cabinet. This Brent must have been yeah, I think it's Brent. I'm trying to pronounce that right, so I apologize. But anyways, he must have been a huge Cathay Pacific collector, as you can see right here. As we can see, 12 wide bodies right here that are super cool. He had a very unique Cathay Pacific collection. So we have the two left 747-400 special liveries. Those are really unique, very, very rare models. So really appreciate him donating this. Arthur Smith, he did, man, that's just so cool that he was willing to donate that. And overall, those look very, very fun. Then we have the cargo 747-8s. We have a standard livery on the left right there, and I'm not sure what the one on the right is, but that's a really cool one. Maybe a city perhaps. So great to see that. A passenger 747-400. We have a passenger 777-300, two passenger 777-200s. There is another really cool, the green livery there on the right for the 300. There's another 200 there in the back, and we also have a A330-300. We have an A331 World and a 747 Classic, looks like maybe a 200 or 100 with that green livery as well. So Cathay Pacific's had some very neat liveries. It's really rare to find all of them assembled right here, rather collected all in one place. So a huge shout out to him for doing this and just overall making this possible. So I think this is really neat, and I think he really spent some time thinking about what models he wanted to donate. So I'll go ahead and break it up a little bit and show you a video of all the cases, and then we'll dive into the next round of cases. So let's go ahead and do just that. This is silly stuff. Brant Arnold Smith was the collection. I'll do this for Tulsa one day. That would be where I would like to go. Yeah, an American MD-7. Maybe. I'm gonna make an offer. How about a FedEx A380? How about a FedEx A380? DHL 75. Oh, he had a whole fleet of Cathay Pacific, literally. No kidding, he must have been a big Cathay guy. Plenty of Air Canadas to float a boat. DC-9? How about a full fleet of Westjet? 737-200 even in there. Where's the Saab 340? No, it's like the only one missing. Oh, there's a Lufthansa 346. That's fantastic. He had multiple 747s. This guy had a great fleet. A whole Asia fleet. They like put the boxes like underneath them. And lastly, a miscellaneous case of. That is exactly right.
Oh, it's a 330. Never mind.
Alrighty, everybody, now let's dive into those Canadian airlines, as you can see right here. So as you can see, we have a bunch of Air Canada toothpaste aircraft. I don't even see a new livery in the frame. There's an A330 right there, but we have a bunch of 777s. The top one, top left, has a really cool special livery, but then we have a 300, 200, 787. Go into the middle row, we have 222, 333, a Rouge 763 without winglets, the polished 762, and then a variety of Canadian airline aircraft there in the middle. We have a 777-300 on top, 787-8, another 333, another 787, and then you got the Air Canada old 747. You have the 330 there on the bottom. You have a Rouge with winglet 763, and then you also have another one without winglets. You can see the Canadian airline aircraft 767 DC-10, 747. So really cool to see all those. Transitioning here to the middle, you can now see the Rouge A321. You have the A319s for Air Canada. There's a Tango aircraft in there, so very neat planes. Canadian 747s. You have various liveries there. Air Canada A340. Two of them there on top, a 767. You have a 767 on the far right, and some sort of CP or 747 there on the top right too. So it's really neat to see all these aircraft. Obviously, he had a very diverse Canadian fleet, and this really shows how many Canadian models we had during that time frame. And since 2016 is what this mainly looks like. And obviously, who can only imagine who the next person to donate to an airport like Vancouver will be to have such an impressive Canadian fleet. So with all the new releases, I'm super excited to hopefully see that one day. And who knows, maybe this will get expanded upon. They definitely have some room to work with, which is really awesome to think about, and a huge shout out to him once again for all of what he's done. Predominantly Westjet in this case, rightfully so. There's some 737 classics on the left. I believe I see four, maybe three 200s or maybe some 300s in there as well. So very cool to see all those. A 737-700 without winglets, and then one with winglets. There's a Westjet 767 front and center. We have two 737-800s and two 737-700s, or maybe three 700s. Really impressive. You see a Dash 8 down there and another 700 on the bottom right. Then you have some more 700s and 800s in the middle row, some with winglets, some without. So it's really cool. I think two without winglets and four with winglets, maybe two 800s in there. So very impressive to see all that. A Condor 767 to break it up. Another Westjet, two more to Westjet 737-800s. You also have some sort of MD-80 back there. I can't see what the airline is, but you have an Air Transat A330 on the far right, maybe another Air Canada A330 in the back. You have Air Transat 737, Condor 767 in the old livery with the winglets, and then you got I don't know what airline that is back there, but it's an A330, the orange one, maybe a British Airways Shorts 360. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but that's really cool. And you also have an Iceland Air 757. So very cool to see all these, and it's definitely quite a variety. But the Westjet fleet he had was extremely impressive, and definitely the most impressive one I've ever seen, no doubt about it. So really cool that it's on display for many people to see here at the Vancouver International Airport. Another one of his strong suits was definitely the international wide bodies, and I think every one of these aircraft has had some relation, including the Concorde for the most part, to Vancouver's international wide body history. So let's start with the British Airways planes. There is two 777s over there on the left. You have a World Cargo 747-8 freighter, two Boeing 747s, and an Airbus A380. So it's cool to think about the British Airways aircraft that have flown in here. Obviously not the A380 and some of those, but it's still cool that he was willing to donate these aircraft to really reflect on the history. So, but obviously several of these have presence. We have the Air New Zealand aircraft, the 777-200 and a 787. Here's the Korean Air Cargo Boeing 747-8, Lufthansa 747-400, Air New Zealand 777-300, Air France 777-200, Lufthansa A340-600s. We have a Star Alliance and an old livery, and then we have two Star Alliance A340-300s. So really impressive to see three Lufthansa Star Alliances all in one place. That's super cool. And the icing on the cake is we have a Lufthansa A380 on the top right. Back to the bottom though, we have the Air France Concorde, a Virgin Atlantic A340, that might be a 200, KLM Asia 777, and we also have a Qantas 747, and rounding out with the Qantas A380. So very fascinating to think about these carriers and which ones were involved here at Vancouver. Obviously not some of them, like I'm not sure. I don't think Qantas ever flew to Vancouver, could be wrong, but obviously Lufthansa with their services. And then you obviously have British Airways too, and then Air New Zealand I don't think ever did, but yeah, it's quite a cool variety regardless of the case. So awesome to see all those. Here's another beautiful display here of so many various carriers. We got two Japan 777-300s. We have a Air China 787. We have a Thai Star Alliance A330. I believe more Air Chinas with the various A330 red and blue liveries now on 777s, and a couple more Air China aircraft there on the bottom. China's Southern aircraft, we have a couple 777s, ANA Star Wars 787, Hainan Airlines 787. We have two EVA Airs, a 747 and a 777-300. Some more ANAs down there, two 787s, one with a special livery. The Japan 767-300, very accurate to this airport, so really cool that that's here. Aeromexico 787, it looks like we have some Asia's A330s back there. I'm missing the airline off the top of my head, but 2 more Air China Boeing 777s, a Korean Air 777-300, and a Philippines 777-300. So this cabinet really does a good job showing off that Asia aviation. I think it's really cool because obviously several of these airlines fly to Vancouver in large quantities, which is really great to think about right there. Here's a better shot here of some closer up ones here. You also see some more Japan aircraft there in the back, or there's just China Southern and a few others back there too. So cool to see all those. We also have some China Airlines aircraft, 747 and A330. So awesome to see that. Note how there's been like no A350s in here. That really shows you how much more popular how many more models of the 787 got made. That's the phrasing I'm looking for prior to 2016. There's a SkyTeam 747. That is an extremely cool aircraft made for China's Eastern, but that is one of the coolest ones I've ever seen, along with some China Eastern aircraft there on the bottom right to round it out. So very cool variety right there, to say the least. And we also have this final cabinet over here, which shows off some more international carriers like the Capital A330, Edelweiss A340. You have an Oman Air A330, more Air Chinas. It looks like we got Thai back there on the 777, South African A330, Air Transit A330, a Caribbean 767. Don't know if that ever flew there, but still cool regardless. Hong Kong Airlines A330, Turkish 333, Interjet A320, Scoot 777. TransAsia A330, Asiana 777, and a Malaysia A380 to round it out. So again, this is just so cool to think about and so fascinating, obviously, as a huge model aircraft collector, to see all these various models here at Vancouver International Airport. So I can't thank them enough, along with obviously Brant Arthur Smith for donating his a huge portion of his collection to Vancouver International Airport. It definitely made my day among many other people. So if you're ever at Vancouver, definitely make it an objective to stop here and take a look at this awesome collection. I'm super glad that I got to share it all with you today, and I really hope each and every one of you enjoyed this. Hopefully this provides some inspiration to donate a portion of your collection to an airport in the future, or any other aviation entity. I definitely would like to do this down the road sometime. I think this is a really great use of the collection. I think many people enjoy seeing these models on display, so it's overall a great purpose, and super glad to highlight it for each and every one of you today. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, but nevertheless, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe, trust process, do what you love, and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.